Lunch with Leah, episode 334.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lunch with Leah on Wednesday. I'm going to be a good girl today. I'm not going to talk trash about anybody. Now, let's see. Let's go to... no, I'm kidding. So you know what? I'm burnt out on everything. There's too much going on. And now I find out I have to go to this dinner tomorrow night with Roy at the University of Miami, someone at their house, because he's giving the commencement thing on Saturday, so they're having some kind of dinner for him or other, I don't know what it is, but RJ and I are going to go. So I've got to get dressed up for that. You know how much I hate to put on anything other than my jeans? I was like, can I send RJ on my behalf? And Roy's like, you're going. Anyway, it's like going to church. I always dread it till I get there, and then I always have a good time. And then Roy's doing that commencement speech on Saturday morning, and then I have to go over to the beach. Do you know how much I hate going over that causeway? I mean, that is like the kiss of, I just can't. I can't. All that riffraff over there. But Roy Jr.'s, guess where his recital is? At the Fillmore.
At the Fillmore, yeah.
Where is that?
That's the Jackie Gleason.
But where is it?
On 17th and right off Lincoln Road there.
Oh, the worst part of the beach.
It's right there
right in the middle of it. Oh, the parking. I'm going to get a driver. He has to go do his rehearsal over there Saturday at 2 because he's having his recital there on the 17th. Why are they having it over there? Why can't they have it where they always have it at the University of Miami, that gorgeous stage and that big, beautiful room? I would have rented a ballroom for them to avoid going over there. And then Greg Lotus Jason's having an event on the 21st. Did you see that? He wants us to help promote it. We're going to promote it. He's a fantastic photographer, one of the top photographers in the world. He's got hundreds of pages, cover pages of Vogue magazine Italian, he's one of the top in the world.
He's an official Vogue photographer.
He is, and he's going to have his big expose here in Roy's building in the lobby on the 21st. We all have to go. We have to invite people, and he's going to put me on the host committee. I'm like, I don't want to be a host. I just want to wear a red wig and go. But I'm going to do it because I love him so much, and he's so talented. And then last weekend, I took RJ to Fisher Island for 2 hours to visit with his friends. Well, 2 hours became 4 hours because we ran into Tom Murphy, talked to him for an hour. Then I ran into the Shrebnicks and talked to them for an hour. So we were there the whole afternoon, which Fisher Island's lovely. But when I go over there, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, then the ferry, but it's 45 minutes and 45 minutes back. And I think to myself, how did I make this trip every single day from the time RJ was in pre-K through the 5th grade?
No, you have to build that time. The ferry trip in every morning. You have to. It's 20 minutes.
I don't know. And he had to be to school at 8:30, so we had to leave at 7:30. I was a zombie when I got there. I would park my car under a tree and take a nap and then come back or hang out or whatever. That's when I bought that condo there, just because I couldn't take it anymore. And then go take a nap and come home. Then I sold the condo because we never used it. But I can't believe I did it. But it is gorgeous once you're there. It's just getting there and back. You know, it's really beautiful. I saw a big, huge, probably 110-foot yacht parked in front of our Star Island house on the way back. I wish I would have photographed it. I wonder what fabulous person's on their yacht in my Star Island property.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's somebody fabulous. I wonder if they sell jewelry or some big jeweler. Somebody we can pilfer something from. What else is going on? Oh, the electricity's been out 2 or 3 times at our house. Have you even noticed these storms? Are they in your neighborhood?
The storms have been horrible.
In your neighborhood, Jason, in your neighborhood? I mean, it's deluging so bad yesterday that the wind was blowing to the side.
Mm-hmm. It was like a hurricane.
And in all directions, you put your umbrella in one direction and then the wind shift to another direction. Mm-hmm. It was impossible to see on the road. I had to pull over. You couldn't hear anything because the car sounded like it was in the middle of a tornado. And that's happened 3 or 4 times in the last week. Yeah. And the other day I read that the airport, they were circling, had to land in Homestead or somewhere. They couldn't even land at the airport. Mm-hmm. I mean, or town, I don't even remember. They had to land somewhere else. And I was like, oh my God, I hate when I'm on a plane in the middle of a storm.
The lightning is horrible. Like it hit, I live right on the water, and I've never seen it actually hit the water in front of me. It hit it and the water like splashed out, and it was weird because our water's kind of blue here, and it turned like black. You could see while the electric was like going into it.
Somebody got a picture of that and posted it.
It's
I don't
crazy.
know what it was, but it looked It looked like someone dropped a bomb.
Yeah, it did. It was crazy.
And it was scary. Yeah.
And people were out on the, like right where it was, on jet skis while it was going on. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I saw 4 jet skiers right where that lightning hit, not probably 20 minutes before that. And I was like, what idiots are out on jet skis with an electrical storm?
It's like when they give you the hurricane warning and all the surfers run to the beach and surf.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Getting out of town. I mean, I can't. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So then I've been watching Billions. I'm one episode behind. Are you guys watching Billions?
Yeah.
It's good, but I'm one episode behind. I'm a little mad though. I was liking it a lot more before. I don't like it when something gets too dark. That happened with The Walking Dead. It got too dark and I stopped watching it. It's getting very dark now where they're going after nice, innocent people that don't deserve to be their lives ruined. So that kind of upset me. And then that Wendy, whom I used to just love, finally getting the courage up, hopefully, to dump that loser husband of hers that I can't stand. He's a great actor. He's such a great. He's brilliant. He's like one of those actors that he is so good at getting you to love to hate him. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that. I wouldn't want to be that role because I would feel like I'm not really that way. Oh my God. And then, oh my God, I'm such a nerd. Are you going to believe this? I read the entire Mueller report, the whole 455 pages. You did?
When it came out, the day it came out, when they released it, I sat down that evening and read it.
It took me like 5 or 6 days to read the whole thing. I read the whole thing. And then yesterday I went on a podcast called Strange Days with Fernand Armandi. And they're going to post it tomorrow. We have to repost it. But we talked all about politics. And then this morning, I'm telling you, I'm depressed. I'm so depressed. I can't get myself going today. I get in the car, and of course, my radio is on the news. But the 10 minutes later, I had such a knot in my stomach, and I was so depressed over the way these Republicans are just trashing the whole country. The Trump Republicans. Yeah, you're right. But they've all the ones in Washington have become Trump Republicans because they just want to stay in power. Mm-hmm. So they're willing to do anything to stay in power. That's not what it's supposed to be like. We're supposed to be like, remember that, give me your hungry and give me your homeless, and what happened to all that? I mean, they're just do anything to stay in power, and it's all about money and power. I mean, we'll get into the politics later, but then even when what's-his-name Pompeo had the nerve to say, well, if the ice things break or melt, the ice caps melt, we'll have all those resources underneath there. So they're going to go mining for gold, I guess, and minerals and oil.
There's supposed to be lots of oil under the ice caps.
So they don't care. They don't care. Let them melt. Let's go get some more. They're gluttons. They're only thinking about today and their richness and power today. They're not thinking about the next generation, the generation after that, and what we inherited and what we're supposed to do with it. They're just money grubber and power grubbers. I'm telling you, you can be a Republican, cannot be a Trump Republican. And if you're not a Trump Republican, you've got to vote for anybody but Trump. Anybody, no matter who it is, no matter how much we don't like them, we're all going to vote for them. Pinky swear. And then I'm reading this book. Oh my God. Kushner, Inc. by Vicky Ward. Greed, Ambition, and Corruption. Oh my God, when I started reading that last night, I was like, I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. That's a really juicy book, though. They get into the gutter on that one.
That was actually one of your Ask Me Anything questions from someone. They wanted to know what you were reading right now. So that's a good...
I'm reading that one right now, but I have to read it in small doses. I used to just devour a book. That's what happened with the Mueller report. I normally would just read all the way through, but I get myself so wound up and so upset and so stressed out that I had to stop and take a break and breathe and go, get some Valium. I need a Valium drip. Oh my God. Well, meanwhile, and then Succession. Remember Succession?
Yes, Succession. It'll be out again.
Apparently supposed to be based on Rupert Murdoch. Well, they will renew that. Season 2 trailer is coming out soon on HBO. That's supposed to be coming up. I guess they're going to release it, but it's supposed to be.
The trailer's coming out.
The trailer's coming out now.
I think tomorrow they said, and then the show will be on in August.
In August, yeah, that's going to be good. We liked watching that one.
I love that show.
It's not like, oh my God, did I great, but it's a good. You know what? I like things that have some truth in them because I feel like it's educational, not just entertainment. So that's that. And then, of course, you guys are all asking about the CBD eye cream. I swear, we just got another two. Well, got a lot more in, but it's already going to be gone. I mean, you watch the website for how much is left, but if you're going to order it, I mean, it's going to take another 4 weeks to get more once we run out. So if you're going to order CBD eye cream with the code being eye cream, EYECREAM, one word.
That's
Ask
great.
me anything from social media, Dr. Fletcher. Oh, I have a doctor? Oh, I'm so impressed that a doctor's watching. What's the most embarrassing thing you've seen someone do at one of your galas? Oh, God, Jason, let's think on that one. What's the most embarrassing thing we've seen someone do at one of the galas?
Didn't one of the artists get sick once?
Oh, well, that was pretty bad when Vince Neil got up on stage and he was drunk and I was literally holding him up and trying to get him to sing. I was like, if I knew the words to the song, I'd just do it for you, but I didn't know all the words. And I was holding him up and he starts looking around the crowd and going, F you, there's my lawyer right over there, the one that stole all that money from me. This guy that had bought a $10,000 table.
Oh my gosh.
And he just went on from there. That was embarrassing. That's hard to, well, the other one, well, I don't want to throw anybody else under the bus. I'll just leave him under the bus because he didn't seem to mind. Emma Ma Roth, 76. Why doesn't Bravo realize what a ratings bonanza you would be? Maybe Life with Leah is a title. Well, Ma Roth, you have certainly got exquisite taste, style, and vision. I don't know. You're just going to have to tweet them and tag them in all your social media and tell them, get with the program. Barbara Garcia, 662. I just want to know how it feels to be so glamorous and beautiful. Oh my God. If you saw I'm not. I put my makeup on in 10 minutes. I throw on jewelry and a scarf every day. That I do. And I put on my jeans. What's fabulous about really my life is the environment I live in and the people that are in it. That's really the only thing glamorous about it. It's really not me. They make me look good. But thank you. That was very sweet. Stacy Stewart Wagon. What was your favorite gala look? Oh, at the Met Gala, I got a whole list of that. I'm going to go over that with Stacy in a minute. T. Tilson, when is the new CBD aging serum arriving? I believe it will be here by the 21st of May. So you need to start watching the website right now. If you're on our hello@LeaBlack.com, if you email us, we'll put you on our mailing list and keep you up to date. And by the way, it's 1 ounce with 250 milligrams of the best quality CBD you can get. I mean, if anybody else tells you they have 250 milligrams, take it to the lab and test it, number one, and find out the quality of it, because I don't think there's anything out there like this. I mean, this is going to be like the most concentrated CBD. I'm going to be like, I think that Benjamin, what was his name, story, Benjamin
Button.
Yeah, I think it's going to, if this stuff works half as good as what it should work with that amount of CBD in it, we're all going to be fabulous. What am I reading? I'm reading that book on Kushner Inc., Greed, Corruption, and whatever else it's called. Oh my God, you're not going to believe it when you read it. It's a quick read too. It's an easier read than the Mueller report. I'll give you that. What are some of the ways you stay positive, especially in today's environment when everyone loves to criticize? From Lisa Levine. Well, that other one was from Fox Heart Beer, by the way. You know what? It is sometimes hard to be positive. I'm going to be honest with you. This morning I got so depressed listening to that news. I was like, what are these Republicans? They're just grandstanding and showing off for what? To impress Donald Trump, the most morally bankrupt person that's ever been in politics?
Apparently, the person that lost the most money in the United States, too, according to the tax return information.
Yeah, he lost.
He was the biggest loser.
The biggest loser. For 10 years, he paid no taxes. And he paid taxes 2 years out of 10, federal taxes.
Lost $480
and he lost over $1 billion over a 10-year period while he was writing the book about the art of the deal and how brilliant he was.
I mean, you can't even make this stuff up.
And I'm a farmer in Iowa or wherever, and he puts tariffs and starts trade wars with people, and I lose my entire life's work and my family's heritage because we can't keep the farm alive. And I find out this guy he ran casinos into the ground, ran his own business into the ground, inherited $460-something million from his dad, lost all that money, and was living off of money from the Dutch bank that the Russians are laundering money from, I just don't know how you can stomach it. What's wrong with America? You need to wake up. You need to educate anyone that thinks they support Trump. It's only because they only watch Fox News. If you get them to really read the articles and read the Mueller report and listen to real news and 10 other places they can get it, they got to come to their senses or something. I don't know.
I loved Fox today. They weren't outraged at what the tax returns showed. They were outraged that someone had leaked them.
Yeah. Anything to distract. Matthew Lucas, hi Leah. I watch your web series while I work every Wednesday and I really enjoy it. I'm a huge Housewife franchise fan, but the raging negativity and verbal abuse that is present in all cities is getting out of control. My question is, does Bravo pay for the drunken vacations, parties, and dinners that produce the bad behavior of these women? Sometimes Bravo pays. They pay for the cast trips and they pay for some of the events where they require everyone to show up. But a lot of these individual parties and dinners and things that people have, they pay for on their own. In my case, I paid for pretty much everything on my own while I find out later that everyone else is crying poor and getting their stuff paid for. Duh!
You have a lot of comments coming in. So people are saying how beautiful you look today as well. Marcella Bernardi says you look great. Chaz Wilson also says you look great. Donna DeRenzo says, what do you think of the royal baby name Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windor?
Oh, is that it? Archie Harrison
Mountbatten Windor.
Windsor or Windsor?
Windsor, I think.
It's
I think
Windsor.
it's Windsor. Yeah,
that's from the mother's maiden family, Windsor. Well, you know, I'm glad they put Windsor in there because that's in honor of Diana. So that's good. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I mean, they always put those long, complicated names in there, but they're going to call him Archie. So what they're really, the message they're sending is he's not going to be treated like a prince.
Yeah, they're not even going to use the title.
Yeah, he's going to be treated like everyone else, which is a nice message to send. On the other hand, I don't think you should snub your heritage like that. I mean, he's a prince. He's a prince.
Right.
I don't know. I have to see. I like Mountbatten. There's a huge, the history of him and how he was killed. So that has some historical value. And then the Windsor has historical value. What was the other one? Archie. I don't know where that came.
Archie Harrion, Harrion, Mountbatten, Windsor.
I don't know where Harrion came from unless that's after Harry. Mm-hmm. And Archie must be like the new Arthur. Because they took a poll and I think 51% of the people thought that he was going to be named Arthur.
Right.
So the baby boy was born 7 pounds. What?
Oh, we had more things.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
If you wanted. Shelley Holstead said, hello, beautiful friends. Thank you for your awesome entrepreneurial insight and assistance to your followers. Your encouragement has prompted me to move forward and open her little business here in Kansas City. You are a treasure. She didn't say. So, Shelley, let us know what your business is, and we'll help.
And we'll promote it.
We'll help promote it for you.
Good for you, Shelley.
Everyone's agreeing with you on Billions. They're saying they're not liking it so much this year. Meredith Connolly says, what is your opinion on LVP? And a lot of people are asking you about, do you think she should be allowed to stay on the show since she's not filming with the other women?
I'm going to put that over in the housewife category, and we will answer it. LVP. Okay.
Chaz Wilson wants to know, how's Jeff and Gage going to fix the co-parenting issue?
That's a good question. I'm not getting in the middle of it. I have learned that unless Jeff asks me for an opinion, I'm not giving it anymore because 99.9% of my advice he ignores.
and everyone else's advice too, obviously.
I give him advice in his very best interest, but every once in a while he'll say to me, Leah, you think I don't listen to you and take your advice, but I do, and he'll cite an example where he did, and I'll just pat him on the back and go, yeah, that's good, Jeff, and I'm like, what about those other 99 times when you stepped in it when you didn't have to?
Let's see.
That's what makes him fabulous.
Joy Walmer once says, I can't take any more of this bad news. Rainbows and butterflies, everyone.
I know.
Courtney Touchette asks, hi, Leah, if you share the same friends with another woman, how do you handle it when two of them are fighting without becoming the bad guy in the middle?
That's it. Let me tell you what. You will. You get in the middle of it, they'll get back together, and you'll be on the outs. I just say, yeah, I'm not taking sides. You guys figure it out, and let me know when you're done. And I don't want to hear about it unless you want to mediate it and take the risk of being on the outs later, because it's like a couple when they fight. People take sides, the couple gets back together, and then you're on the outs because you we're in the middle of it. So it's a difficult thing to, if you see someone self-destructing and you want to have an intervention or something, if it's something serious like that, but if it's a petty thing, I just, at this point, try to avoid it because it's, you know what, there's just so much else. The ice caps are melting.
Yeah.
The Constitution's being trampled on.
Chaz Wilson says, I would love to interview you on my YouTube channel. I just got monetized. His channel is This Is Chaz, C-H-A-S. So, and he also says he wanted to know your thoughts on Dina Manzo getting married for the third time.
All right.
And thoughts on Ashley Darby from The Real Housewives of Potomac getting charged with sexual assault and being kicked off the franchise. But that day, that show premiered this week. They're going to address that. That's part of the storyline this season. So
I will answer those housewife ones later. And the other one, as far as being on your thing, you can just email us at hello@LeahBlack.com. And if we can take 3 minutes and do something for you, we will. Okay.
Make sure you mention that we told you to do that on Lunch with Leah,
yes.
so we'll know which one. We get a lot of requests.
Right. We try to support all of our supporters as best we can. Now, the baby boy, the royal baby boy, was born at 5:26 in the morning, 7 pounds 3 ounces. I figure that's a 10, which comes to a 1, so that's a good signal. And anyway, Meghan's father, for once, took the high road. He must have hired a publicist or someone volunteered to be a publicist for him. He said, I'm delighted to hear that mother and child are doing well. Proud that my new grandson is born into the British royal family. I'm sure that he will grow up to serve the crown and the people of Britain with great dignity, honor, and God bless. Yeah, like you, dignity and honor. God bless the child, and I wish him health and happiness. And my congratulations to my lovely daughter, the one that I gossip behind her back and sell tabloid stories to her and trash when I can. And her Prince Harry, the other one that I've tried to ruin his name. And it's God Save the Queen. The Queen that wouldn't, I can't. He must have hired a publicist, whatever. Anyway, so there. Harry came out and gave a speech to the commoners and said he was elated and he was gushing and he was having the best time and blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we did this already. Okay. Met Gala. Well, first of all, what is camp? According to BuzzFeed, because the theme was camp. Camp is an embodiment of an exaggeration and drama mixed with fashion. Who knew? It's intentional, and it's meant to turn heads.
Or Versace.
Right.
To sum it up in one word.
The art of being a hard ass while also being haute couture. Oh, Lord. Well, you know what? I'm not one that's really into the themed parties thing, but if you're going to be into a themed party, that's the one to be into. Mm-hmm. I mean, these people pull all stops. Some of those gowns cost, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, they do. They take months to prepare. And teams of people.
Yeah. So the ones that stood out to me, Lady Gaga, it really is, she's just born to be a star. I'm sorry. She changed her wardrobe 4 times on the red carpet. 4 times. She starts with that big, huge thing, and then she strips down to another one, and the last one's her underwear with 10-inch stiletto heels. And she was just working that crowd and milking it like it was her party. God bless Lady Gaga. Okay. Janelle Monáe wore that dress that had one half of it was open with an eye covering her boob with big eyelashes, and then the other side was a face. I mean, that was very artsy and bold. Then I had to laugh. Katy Perry walks in with the chandelier on her head and the chandelier on her waist. And it was all lit up. I mean, you got to give her credit.
And then she changed into a hamburger outfit afterwards.
And then she changed.
And J-Lo walked in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's on my list here. And so then she goes in there, and then they've got all these handlers helping her up and down the stage. And then they show online this clip where the bathroom looked normal. It wasn't a dressing room, so I don't know if they were changing in there or if they were going to the restroom in there. But J-Lo didn't change for the after party. But she changed for the after party. So while she was, I don't know, I think she probably had already changed and she went to the bathroom. So she was trying to put her hamburger back on, pulling it apart, wiggling in there. It looked like it weighed 150,000 pounds. She's trying to put it on. She has no one helping her and someone filming her. And J-Lo just walks by like she doesn't know who she is or anything about her. I mean, I just had to laugh so hard.
I know, it was kind of funny.
I would have just at least said, can I help you with your hamburger?
Do you need help with your romaine?
Yeah, or at least hi, or what a costume. He just walked by like she was just, listen, I'm not judging. She could have been in a big hurry. She could have been going on the stage. It could have been, she and Katie may not like each other. She may not have recognized Katie in the hamburger. I don't know. It was just hilarious to me that she just walks right by while Katie's over there wiggling herself into that hamburger, picking it up, trying to get it on, and then she's going, well, now imagine, how do you go to a party the rest of the night? First one, you've got like a diameter of 4 feet of chandeliers. The rest of the night, you've got a 4-foot diameter of hamburgers. I mean, how do you even shake someone's hand or get a drink up to your mouth or food up to your mouth? How do you reach around it? I mean, what people will do to see and be seen, I don't know. Yeah. Zendaya went as Cinderella. Billy Porter made quite a fuss coming out as that bird. What was that on top of his head? Was that it was, I guess it was like a bird. It looked like a big crown.
It looked like the thing Cher wore at the Oscars that year.
Yeah, kind of, but I guess it was like bird feathers or something. But he made quite the statement. But everyone says Billy Porter is camp. I don't know. And then the other guy, I don't know who he is, Michael Urie, he wore half a ball gown on one side and half a tuxedo on the other side.
Well, all of the guys were doing like gender bending stuff. It seemed like there was
just laughing. I mean, he had a ball gown on one side and then a tuxedo with half of a bow tie, half of everything on the other side, and he's just walking around like he's normal. These people. Now, the one that really confused me and made my head spin. You know which one? Guess.
The one with the eyes?
The one with the eyes.
Yeah.
That, you had to do 5 takes on that one.
Yeah. No, it's even hard to like look at a photo of it and figure it out.
That was really weird.
No. Yeah.
You know, the guy had his regular eyes and then he had 5 other eyes drawn on his face matching his regular eyes exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't know if you were squinting and it was blurred, or if someone had taken a photo really fast and his eyes got spread out. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. And then he had the mask. I mean, that was very clever. That was a very clever.
It was real fluid.
Hours that
Tonya
had
Harris
to take.
says that. Yeah.
Can you imagine how many hours it took to paint all those eyes on there and match them exactly? I will say Lady Gaga had the best eye makeup on I've ever seen in my life. She had those eyelashes in all directions, like a foot long. They were like feathers. They were fabulous. Oh
and what was his name? Jared Leto with his head he was carrying?
Yes, his head. He was walking around with the head of himself. You know who it made me think of? Kathy Griffin. I was like, Kathy should have gone with the head of herself.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Said, if I'm willing to chop my head off, why are you mad at me for chopping someone else's off? That was a good one. And RuPaul wore a multicolored pantsuit. I thought he would be more glamorous than that. But it was a statement piece. There's no doubt about it. And then Cardi B. She always delivers that one, doesn't she? I mean, this girl, she's fabulous until she starts talking. Yeah. When she starts talking,
she's a little crazy.
She just don't talk. Just look pretty. Just look pretty, sing your songs, and do not talk. Did you see that video of her?
Yes.
Schooling everybody about the difference between her tush and her rest of her body parts. I was dying.
Yeah,
I was
she's
like,
something
girl,
else.
don't. I can't, please. You're so cute. Don't do that.
I loved Joan Collins. She was dressed like Alexis.
Oh, me too.
From Dynasty.
Oh,
she dressed as herself, her own character.
Crown. She had a huge amount of diamonds all over. Yeah, she was fabulous. Yeah. And but that Cardi B, the layers and layers and layers and layers of that
huge thing.
That train went down like 50 steps, and it was wide. It was the whole width of the carpet. They must have measured the carpet to get it on there. And each one it had to weigh like hundreds of pounds because the fabric wasn't a flat fabric. It was rolls.
No, it looked
rolls.
like
it was gorgeous.
It looked like curtain velvet. Is what it looked like, tapestry velvet.
It was gorgeous. I mean, that was a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. I mean, if I would put that in a museum. And then that Jason Derulo he fell down the stairs. Did you see that? He tumbled, and he didn't just fall. He tumbled all the way over and down. Yeah. I hope he's okay. That's kind of sad. At first I thought it was part of his routine or something.
That's what I was thinking.
You know?
It was like part of the whole camp spirit. I don't know.
And celebrity.
I thought it lost a little bit of its glamour this year. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I don't know. There was something about it. It didn't gel for me this year.
Well, let me think about that.
I always look at it as like an aspirational, costume-ish type of event.
It didn't have.
And it didn't have that feel this year.
It wasn't the classy, elegant feel. It was the campy feel, which is what the theme was.
Which is what it was.
But you know what? Those people loved it. You think those costume designers and stylists and hair and makeup people weren't all in their fucking glory? Those people didn't sleep for months. They're so ecstatic about showcasing their latest catastrophe camp $200 million outfit. Oh my gosh. Celebrity news. Britney Spears' mother is demanding legally that she be part of all the decisions that the father makes about her conservatorship that started in 2007. I had no idea they still had that conservatorship. They should turn that money back over to the girl. Poor thing. Kelly Clarkson was hosting that big event. I forget what it was called. Anyway,
the Billboard Music.
The Billboard Music. And she was having appendicitis
during the show.
And then she went straight to the hospital and had her appendix taken out.
I saw that.
Girl, how could you do that? I mean, most people would have bowled over on the stage and just fainted. I mean, of all of the things in the world, the timing for that, I can't. And housewife news. Did you want to say something?
I was going to take our 5-second break real quick. We're right at 30. Somebody's trying to get in the door.
Oh, it's a package. Oh, we don't want to lose our packages.
Okay, and we are back. We've had a little...
Okay, in housewife news. Apparently, according to Tamara Tattles, Kenya's returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if that's true or not, but in the meanwhile, Tamara Tattles tweets this story, and I just read everything, so I read it, and it's all about, it's an analogy between Frankenstein and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And you're supposed to figure out who's the bad person there that needs to go, get rid of forever. So I just couldn't figure it out. I'm not that smart, so I just tweet back, just tell us who it is. Well, now she tweets me and she says something like, oh, only because I'm a fan of RHOM, I'll spoon feed it to you. And she gives me her email, but then I went to bed after that. I was too tired. Then Brendan gets in on the action. Brendan from E! Tweets about, what's the gossip, Leah? Well, he always says, what's the gossip to me? Well, she interpreted it that he was asking, I guess, about that, or maybe he was, and she calls him some weird name on there. It just went on all night, but it was funny. But I read it. So apparently, if you go to her website, she'll tell you who it is. But then Brendan, I called him this morning at 8 o'clock his time, 11 o'clock my time. Said, Brendan, who is that she's talking about that needs to go away forever? He said he thinks it's Nene. So I don't know. There was no, if you look at the comments, the speculation was either Nene or LVP. Those were all the people that were speculating. So I don't know.
They're the targets right now.
They're the targets right now. Yeah. The rumor is that that Phaedra can't come back because Candy said if she won't be on the show if Phaedra comes back. So that could be, and I love Phaedra. I thought Phaedra, with that little prayer cloth, and she paid the ultimate price. She showcased her husband being arrested and going to jail. I mean, if anyone's kind of paid their dues and deserves to be on a show, it's her. And the other one that really paid her dues to be on that show was that Taylor in Beverly Hills, that her husband committed suicide and everything, and then she was no longer on the show. I thought she was a great addition to the show, too. She brought it to levity. And then people are wanting to know about Dina getting married. I don't really care if Dina gets married, doesn't get married. Look, go live happily after. I've always found her boring, but good for her. She's married. She's happy. Oh, good for her. She's pretty, she's sweet, and hopefully she's happy. But I just thought she was boring on the show. LVP.
Most of the time she was terrified.
Terrified of who?
Of all of the rest of it.
That could be.
It's true.
It could be.
You've heard her talk about it. She's like, she had no idea what she was walking into, and then she went back a second time.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened.
I had no idea what I was walking into either, and maybe I was boring too. I just didn't feel, you know what? Let me reframe it. Maybe it's not that she's boring. Maybe she just, that's just not something for her.
Right.
She just is not a fit for that kind of a,
I think that's what it
show.
is.
That's a better way to say it. Probably in real life she's a blast, but that show, maybe you're right. She was just intimidated and didn't like it and thought it was dark and ugly and just shied away. And so that I read that as kind of being boring. She would jump in when she had to, but she never really jumped in like she needed to in order to defend herself on the show. Anyway, now, LVP is another story. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it's like, I think that Bravo's probably a little bit beholden to her because she's got that other show that's got good ratings, so they let her get away with a lot. But I mean, she didn't go to anything anymore. She doesn't like any of the girls anymore. And none of the girls really like her other than Kyle and Dorit, who are trying to get her back and be friends. I'm like, you know what? If you don't want to be my friend, goodbye. I'm not going to beg somebody to be my friend. I don't get that whole thing.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
You're getting a lot of comments. People are saying you are, Joshua West says, you are far from boring. You were my favorite on Miami. Eden Dominic says, Leah, you are never boring. And Beth Feldman Foster says, you are anything but boring.
Anything but boring. Well, I'm controversial. I'm not a people pleaser.
Polarizing.
I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not a yes girl.
Tasha Adjord, I'm going to mess her name up. Tasha Adorjan says the Met was a little too cheesy this year. Hamburger pun intended.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Karen Chiaverini says, if you ever have a costume party, Leah, or you're attending one, they want you to call them because they have a company called Crazy About Costumes, and they love listening to you, and they would want to take care of you.
Oh my God, Jason, we have to put that in our costumes file. Crazy About Costumes. I wonder where they're located. You know what? You have to email us at hello@leahblack.com and give us information so we stick it in the file. Because I'm not a good person to put costumes together. I told you I was doing it for a
I know. Let's remember the prom.
Horrible. Now, Luann, oh my God. So Luann has violated her probation. So let me just give you the scoop on that. Luann DeSeps is headed back to court. She was forbidden to consume alcohol based on the terms of her probation stemming from a 2017 drunk and disorderly incident in Palm Beach, Florida. After she admitted she indulged in, quote, 2 glasses of mimosas following one of her recent cabaret shows in Chicago. During the meeting with her probation officer, she was swiftly handed a court date for violating her terms according to the documents at dailymail.com. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these probation officers do not mess around. Nope. If you'd have called me, girl, I could have told you that. I've seen them slap them right back in the slammer for far less than that. I'm not kidding you.
Eden Dominic says she needs a drink for this.
Yeah. If they don't like you, they'll slam you back in. Okay. According to a violation report from the Florida Department, she was first given a breath test, which she failed on the 21st of April. She admitted to drinking 2 days later during a 23rd meeting, according to the terms of the agreement. The officer stressed her apparent unwillingness to get with the program. The subject has not made herself an active participant in the rehabilitation and shows signs of denial that she has a sobriety issue. Her probation officer went on. Well, let me just tell you, before anybody even mentioned this to me, I already knew when you have 2 mimosas, they do not stay in your system till the next day to take a breathalyzer test. So let's start there. Now, then, and I know this because I've dealt with lawyers and I've referred people that have had DUIs and I know how it works. So just to be 100% sure, I asked Roy, if I had 2 mimosas, how long would it stay in my system? He said, if you had nothing to eat on an empty stomach, you, just remember this is free legal advice, you burn off 1 ounce per hour. Which would mean if you had a mimosa with 1 ounce of liquor in it, that would be 1 hour. If you had 2, that'd be 2 hours. So if you finished your show at 12 and you had 2 mimosas by 1, by 3 in the morning, it would be out of your system. If you had not eaten anything. If you ate something, it would cut the time probably 30 to 50%. So if you ate anything, it'd even be less than that. So her story of saying she had 2 mimosas is not, they're not going to accept it. They're not going to accept that. And then if you lie to the probation officer and you lie to the court, they're going to get you for violating your probation and lying to the court. So you've got to come clean. Now, for them to randomly take these tests the way they randomly take them would indicate that you're drinking on a regular basis, because if they randomly take it, you would have to have a lot more alcohol in your system than something that would burn off in 1 ounce per hour. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's at. Let's see what the court says, and I feel bad for her.
You know, she was in Las Vegas performing last week, and I mean, she was at one of the big casinos in a big room, and there were celebrities all over the place that came in from it. But I saw some of the photos, and it looked like there was a lot of glasses and things like that around that she was posing with. So, I mean, who knows, you know, but it's hard to be in that. You know what? You know what my grandfather used to always tell me? If you sit in a barber shop long enough, someone's going to cut your hair.
That's right.
And that's something
exactly right.
that has stuck with me my whole life.
He's right.
I mean, he's so true.
If you sit in a bar long enough, you're going to have to. You know, this is why I used to go out with this whole group. There's 2 big groups of friends in North Miami, and I just love them to death when they're sober. But they start drinking at the bar. 2 hours later, they start having hors d'oeuvres. 2 hours later, they start having dinner. And 5 hours, 10 hours later, they're still drinking and partying. And one of them looked at me one time and said, you know, Leah, how do you do this sober? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It's hard for me. You guys are having a blast, and I'm just bored to death after a couple of hours of it because I'm not getting drunk along with you because I don't want to be drunk. So anyway, that's that. That's Jason on the phone. Don't
Tonya
worry
Harris
about
says,
him.
hence the FAA rules for pilots. Stop drinking 8 hours before. If you've had more than 3 drinks, 14 hours before.
Oh, if you're a pilot, if you're a surgeon, a pilot, anything like that, you shouldn't even be drinking if you're on call or on duty, period.
Exactly.
And you should stop 24 hours before if you've even had a beer because you're putting other people's life at risk, which is the same reason why they have these strict laws, thanks to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, about driving and drinking. Now, when are we all going to come to our senses and do the same thing about gun control?
Exactly.
Yesterday, an 18-year-old boy, I literally started crying last night, died. An 18-year-old senior in high school died from a gunshot wound in a school in Colorado. It broke my heart. I mean, when is this going to be enough? Last night, that Fred Gutenberg or whatever, whose daughter Jamie died in Parkland, posted a picture of his son dressed in a military or a cop outfit, a police officer outfit, one or the other, in front of the fireplace. He's going to some ceremony or whatever, and he had the picture of the daughter over the fireplace as dancing. She was jumping through the air with this beautiful dress floating everywhere. She was 14 years old, slaughtered. It's breaking my heart. My kid, every day I drop him off, I'm like, RJ, let me tell you, if anything happens, don't be a hero. Hide, run, play dead. You know, these people have assault weapons. You can't fight an assault weapon with your fist. No. You know, and arming people isn't the answer because they've got assault weapons and you got a little handgun over there. It's not going to work, and you miss, and it just, I can't take it
I heard them say
anymore.
when they were reporting that last night, I think there have been 100, I may have the number wrong, but not by much. I think they said 148 mass shootings now this year since January. That's how many we've had in the United States.
And you don't have them in other countries.
And I think 43 of those were in educational facilities
and churches.
In churches. That's what they said.
It makes me ill. Back to the Housewives drama, which is far.
People are chiming in on the
interesting.
Luann thing. They're all saying she's going to have to serve her time. If you know that.
Apparently, they wanted her to go to probation, but she said she couldn't or didn't want to because it would interfere with her shows, which is interfering with her income. And I said to Roy, I said, "Well, Roy, what happens if it interferes with your income?" He goes, "Do you think those officers care?
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care." People making far more money than her and lose. They go to rehab and they don't get to work. So I'm not saying it's fair. It's for your own good. It's the way they look at it. They look at it like we're trying to help you here. You got to help yourself too.
Yeah, Eden Dominic says, her and Barbara Kay talking about Bethany, had sent her to rehab for the second time, and now here she is, and she's also on the show. Sort of been getting on her grandeur horse again, so it looks like...
Oh, no. Being that cabaret thing has definitely made her... She feels like she's Meryl Streep now. But anyway...
she was projected on the side of a building in Las Vegas last weekend. So can you imagine what that went right to her head?
It's definitely like... And so now... But you know what? Everybody's got their demons. So she finally made it with her career, but now she's got this demon. So everybody's got something.
Everybody has something.
Orange County girls partying in the Keys. Oh, my God. I know. The three amigas, I guess that's Shannon, Vicky, and what's the other one? Tamara. Apparently dancing on the tables. One of them had her legs open with a short dress with her crotch showing, and the other one's on the table putting her hand in front of the couch trying to stop people from seeing it. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't. I can't. Kelly, please tell me you didn't do that.
I don't think Kelly was.
Because I like Kelly, and I don't want her to ruin her reputation.
Yeah.
Alcohol. Oh, I did that one already. Okay, so, by the way, Roy said if you have a alcohol blood test, if they do the blood test, not the breathalyzer test, they can tell you far more. They can tell you exactly how much you had and when you had it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On and on. So you got to be careful. So, let's see. News. Oh, and this college scandal. So the Stanford students from Stanford, the little Chinese guy, fortunately, he was admitted to the college 3 weeks before that singer guy conned his family out of $6.5 million for, quote, charity. And the family said that they never knew that the money didn't go to charity. All this time they thought the money went to charity, and the guy never gave any money to anybody. He kept all that money for himself. He kept $6.5 million. Fortunately, this kid was already in Stanford before they made the donation, or he'd be kicked out of Stanford. And that's a sad case, because when you live in China and you're dealing with a U.S. university, you don't really know how they operate. They probably thought, oh, well, you know, they want a donation, we'll make a donation. But fortunately, the kid had already been admitted to the school, so that's terrible. And another one yesterday, $400,000 Georgetown dad recruited, they set his daughter up to be recruited for a tennis team. He was in court in Boston last week, or maybe it's this week. And then Lori Loughlin, or whatever her name is, well, there was a big article that she's been edited out of her show. Her friends are dwindling, and her daughter has moved out. How did her daughter move out? Where did she get the money to move out? I mean, I told her if Archie wanted to move out, he wouldn't have the money to move out on. I mean,
well, wasn't her daughter an influencer on YouTube? So she's probably got some money.
Maybe she does, but while she was 18 making that money under the parents' roof, they should have been controlling that money. Like Roger, until he's 18, I controlled every dime that anyone ever gave him for a birthday party. You know, it's like whatever. Oh, my God.
This is funny. Alex Pletcher says, I've always said that Luann is the poster child for why you should drink at home.
That's a good one.
And people are saying that Marcella Bernardi said she's tired of the three amigos. And Beth says, last night the Beverly Hills Housewives were crazy, talking about jobbers. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. Someone else said that last night was the first episode they'd ever laughed at the Beverly Hills Housewives too. But
you know what? I forgot to talk about the Beverly Hills Housewives. You know, the camping trip turned out to be better and more fun than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be worse, but it was luxury camping. It wasn't like roughing it camping. Camille's getting on my last
nerve. They spent $700. They spent what most people spend on one full month of food at the store.
And you know how much they ate? None of it. Look how skinny they
yeah.
are. But Camille's getting on my last nerve.
Oh, me
She's
too.
trying too hard. I mean, you don't go from doing nothing and saying nothing all these years, just being in the background to be on the show, to jumping in on every single thing. And I read that she made the comment, well, she had to do her part because Vanderpump wasn't filming anymore, so she stepped in and took it over. Talk about power going to your head, girl. Calm down. Just calm down. It's too much.
What about those tents they had last night with like wood floors? They were like 10,000 square foot tents with like full polished wood floors, and I don't know.
That's roughing it, Beverly Hills.
That's
style.
how I would camp.
So another selfie. Listen to this one. You know, I keep telling you about these selfies.
We're killing
22-year-old girl fell 5 stories from an apartment on East 25th Street near 3rd on New York Avenue while taking a selfie. She landed on an air conditioning unit, which saved her life, then bounced into a garbage can. Paramedics got her out. She was at the hospital, and she'll probably survive it. But when are these people going to learn about taking these selfies? What is it with these selfies anyway? It's on my last nerve. Everybody trying to be so fabulous. I mean, you see people just posting pictures of themselves all day, every day. I'm like, get over yourself. What are you auditioning for, a husband? Are you trying to get in a porn film? What is it? Just be yourself in life. You don't need to be like show every little tiny thing, you know. I don't know. It's just too much, and these young kids are being indoctrinated into it. Thank God my son thinks it's tacky. He thinks it's just tacky that people post their pictures all the time. And I'm like, thank God you think that way, because I think it's tacky too. I think it's fine if you're celebrating something or you're showing off your kid or one of your pets or something, but to show off yourself, your cleavage and your T and your A all day, every day, it's too much.
When I was at home at Christmas, my 78-year-old father said to me, I need to ask you something about these people on these social things. He goes, why are they posting all these pictures of themselves? He says, is something wrong with them? Are they trying to win a contest? Or what?
I know.
He didn't understand it.
I can't understand it either. either. And when you risk your life to do it on a balcony or like a mountaintop and you wind up dying from it, I mean, I guess you're trying to look cool and fabulous, but you know what? You can Photoshop anything, number one. You can put any backdrop. I could get a picture right now and put a Bali backdrop and say, well, I'm here in Bali when I'm sitting right here in Miami. I mean, it's just so I can't.
I think it's in human nature for people to want to be validated. I think that's like a basic root in almost everybody. And I think what this has done is, when it's allowed a platform for people to encourage validation by posting those things. And I think that's why they do it.
You have to to validate yourself 10 times a day.
And I think that's it. I think there's a lot of security.
And your tush, and your toenails, and your nails, and every single thing about you.
Everything
you're
eat.
Validated. You're validated. We get it. You're alive. You're human. You're fabulous. Let me give you that seal clap, that Nancy Pelosi seal clap. I never quite understood that whole Nancy Pelosi seal clap thing, but I mean, people interpreted it as being condescending. I don't know what it was anyway. So now we find out that Boeing knew the 737 MAX jet had problems a year before, decided not to tell the pilots, and didn't fix it, according to CNN. That is criminal. They should go to jail.
Yep.
They should go. Everyone involved in that decision should go to jail. That is murder. That is mass murder. 189 people died on the first flight, and I forget how many on the second.
Yeah, it's over 300.
It's just unfucking believable. Another gun. 12-year-old little Texas boy finds his parents' gun and killed his 10-year-old brother, shot him right in the chest. According to the New York Daily News, apparently, I'm assuming, they didn't give any more details, I'm assuming the kid thought it was a toy gun or didn't realize the consequences at 10 years old. When you're 10 years old, I can't anymore, I can't. The Russian plane crash that killed 41 of 78 people aboard. Other passengers were expressing dismay that some of the passengers delayed the evacuation by grabbing their belongings, but asked they not be persecuted. Well, that'd be me getting my jewelry. But no, the truth is, I have my jewelry in a separate little patch, and I have it like with me at every second. If I had to leave the plane, I would stick it in my bra and grab the dog and go. That's it. But yeah, they were grabbing luggage. Some of them were seen with their luggage. Also, not just their handbags, their luggage. I don't know what to say about people who ran out with the bags. God is their judge, he continued, but I really want to ask them I want people to not persecute them. I'm sure it's very hard for them now. I do not think that at least one person is burning hell deliberately dragged suitcases. I do not know the psyche works in such situations. It's a question for the experts, wrote this guy who was speaking for on behalf of the airlines. I can't pronounce his name, Michael something. Russian. Trump probably knows him. He posted a video from the ground showing passengers fleeing the conflagration while clutching what appeared to be bags. Oh my God. That was horrible. Those people just literally burn up alive.
Yeah.
Just burn.
What was really crazy was like when the pilot landed, the back end hit, and that's when it exploded. But what was amazing was how fast it burned up. Like
yeah, but see, here is the problem.
But it was still speeding, so the air added to
They had just taken off, so they were fully loaded with fuel.
Yeah, he didn't
If it wasn't, hadn't have been like a dire emergency, they would have dumped that fuel before they did that. So if they didn't have time to dump the fuel, it had to be a real emergency. Yeah. But you're right, it was the bouncing, the way it hit the tarmac that it just sparked, blew up on the back. Oh my God.
It's really sad.
Now listen to this. This is just, okay. USA Today talking about money. The average American spends almost $18,000 a year on non-essentials. And here's what they say are non-essentials. You know what? I don't think these are non-essentials. I think some of them might be, but for the most part, a lot of these things people deserve to have. They need to raise minimum wage. Okay, restaurant meals a year, $209. Come on, if you can't spend $209 a year in a restaurant, we're the richest country in the world. Some Republican wrote this, some Trump Republican. Drinks, $189. You can't have $189 of drinks in a year. That's like $15 a month in a drink.
Oh my God, that's Saturday on South Beach, one of the clubs.
Takeout and delivery, $178 for things like pizza, takeout, delivery. If you can't treat takeout and delivery to your kids, buying lunch, $174. What, everybody's got to take their lunch now? Impulse purchases, like a little t-shirt, $109. I just can't. Ride shares, $96. Personal grooming, $94. How many haircuts can you get for $94? Subscription boxes, $94. I don't even know what that is.
That's like those Birchbox and those subscription services where they send you a box every month with like a piece of clothing, a beauty item.
I could go without that one. You don't know what you're getting. Okay, so that's one.
So wait a minute. Is this a week or a month or
a year? The average American spends $18,000 a year on non-essentials. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. Cable, $91 a year.
That has to be a month.
Cable? No,
because
this is
$91. Everyone's cable costs more than that.
Yeah, but they're saying this is how much the average person spends a year on it. Online shopping, $84. I'm sorry, this bullshit. You know what? The minimum wage has got to be $15. And even on $15, that's $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. $2,400 a month, you're going to clear $1,900. $1,900 divided by 30 days a month is what? It's about $600, $620 a day, a week. $620 a week. How are you going to do that?
Especially in cities like Miami where...
The parking's $20 a day. I mean, come on. My quote of the week, be the star that you are. Okay. Well, let's see. We didn't get to very much news. Oh, just so you know, the worst city for commuters, number 1 is New York, number 2 is Washington, number 3 Boston, then Chicago, then San Francisco, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and guess who's 8th? Miami. I'm surprised Los Angeles is 10. Miami's worse for commuters than Los Angeles is. Who knew?
Tanya Harris says, I wish I could spend only $18,000 a year on my teenage son's non-essentials. Right. I would be rich.
But you know what? That's $1,500 a month. Okay. I mean, if you can't spend $1,500 a month to live your life, provide for your kids, and enjoy what you have and what you work for, what's the point? I see why people just say, well, I'll just go on welfare and sit at home and eat a protein bar. Because, I mean, what's the point in working if you can't even just have, order a pizza once in a while? It's just, it's terrible.
Alex Pletcher says, cable is necessary. If not, there would be no Bravo or Discovery Channel.
Oh, God. Well, in other words, we might be better off. Okay. Now,
we've got enough wildlife.
So you know how these Trump Russians, these Trump Republicans, that was not a Freudian slip. You know how they're complaining and bitching about the Mueller report. Okay, so Benghazi spent 72 months investigating Benghazi. Now, this is a story where the Secretary of State is in the United States of America while a diplomat's on the other side of the world, 20,000 gazillion miles away. And there's a riot of fire, and he dies after being told numerous times not to go there. There was not enough protection for him, and decides to go anyway out of the goodness of his heart to help these people. Okay, God bless him. But they spent 72 months investigating it. They found 0 charges, 0 indictments, 0 pleas, and 0 prison sentences. And Hillary Clinton testified for 11 hours in front of hostile Republican men. They've had her email investigations, have been endless, no indictments. The Uranium One investigations have been on and on and on, 0 indictments. Russia, 22 months instead of 72 months, 215 charges instead of 0, 38 indictments or pleas instead of 0, 5 prison sentences instead of 0, and Trump testified 0 hours. The Trump Foundation has been shut down for fraud. The Trump University was shut down for fraud. He had to pay $25 million there. And as of March 2019, there are 17 open investigations for corruption. Now, what is wrong with this hypocrite story? You know, I'm gonna put that on the wall somewhere. It just irritates the hell out of me, these hypocrite Republicans. Can't. And some of the Republicans that are not Trump supporters are hypocrites too. Now, the ones that follow Trump, they're the worst of the bunch. But the ones that just care about themselves and not the rest of the people in the rest of the world, You know, Mitch McConnell will not even, the House has passed 11 House resolutions that he will not put on the floor. One is to stop from voting suppression. One is gun legislation, which is desperately needed. There have been several. But the minimum wage, he won't even put him up for a vote. He's the judge and the jury. Mitch McConnell's the second most dangerous man in Washington, maybe the first, because if he wasn't propping Trump up and keeping that Republican people leadership behind Trump, the House of Cards would have already fallen. So he may be the worst. Yeah. But he and Trump are just blood-sucking
Everybody's
balloons.
saying get him out.
He needs to. His approval rating is in the 30s in Kentucky. The problem is they don't have anyone running against him right now. Somebody needs to run against him. James, aren't you from Kentucky?
I am from Kentucky.
I think you have to move back.
I have to move back and run.
Take one for the team. I'm not kidding. Somebody's got to do it. Okay, I love this story. Months before evangelical leader Jerry Falwell Jr.'s game-changing presidential endorsement of Donald Trump in 2016, Falwell asked Trump fixer Michael Cohen for a personal favor. Cohen said in a recorded conversation by Reuters, "I love Tom Arnold. He exposing all his dirt." Falwell, president of Liberty University, one of the largest Christian universities, it said someone had come into possession of what Cohen describes as racy personal photographs, the sort that would typically be kept between husband and wife, Cohen said in the conversation. According to a source familiar with Cohen's thinking, the person who possessed the photos destroyed them after Cohen interviewed on Falwell's behalf. But the smoking gun is Cohen kept one of those photos. Now, the question is, what did Donald Trump do with that photo in order to get Jerry Falwell to come out and endorse multi-divorcee, multi-mistress, multi-everything Trump for as the nominee? Falwell came out of the blue. Ted Cruz had just given a big speech at the Christian University. Everyone thought he was going to be the big Christian candidate they got behind. And they went out behind Trump. Coincidentally, Trump has that photo that Michael Cohen kept that's apparently pretty damaging for Christian Jerry Falwell. Mm-hmm.
Jerry Falwell Jr.
Pretty interesting.
And let me just tell you, like, I know about his family and stuff because my parents are evangelicals and they supported his father when he was alive and stuff. So I grew up kind of in that atmosphere. But one of the things that I will tell you is that story about him and his wife has been around for quite a while, for several years.
With the pool boy.
With the pool boy. And there was also a period of time
remember,
that
he gave the pool boy.
He
gave the pool boy at $1.8 million.
Yes. So there's...
And then what? He went away?
Usually where there's smoke, there's fire.
Wait, he went away from
I was just saying his family kind of sent him away while his dad was still alive for a while out of the country. And there was always rumors that they were trying to hide him.
Yeah.
And so, but then, once his father passed away, he took over the university, came back, got everything, and then
always be aware of those Christians that wear their religion on their shoulder like a badge. Excuse me.
Bless you.
On MSNBC.
Do you need a Benadryl?
There's a lot going on. Senator Hirono of Hawaii, I love her. She says to Barr, when he testified during the committee, now he won't testify anymore. He made such a fool of himself in the first testimony, he won't testify. Now the American people know that you are no different from Rudy Giuliani or Kellyanne Conway or any other people who sacrificed their once decent reputation for the grifter and liar who sits in the Oval Office. Mm-hmm. Good for you! I love her.
I don't understand that comment. Tanya Harris says she disagrees a little bit with you. She lives in Texas. My neighbors are obsessed with Trump. They ignore anything their evangelical president does. No closets examined, she said.
Yeah. They won't look at it, and they only listen to Fox News.
Yeah.
Newsweek says there was an article in Newsweek, according to that was taken from the book on Kushner that I'm reading right now, that says Ivanka and Don Jr. both want to be president, that Trump thinks he's going to create a dynasty, and that the daughter, Ivanka, has a hissy fit whenever her brother, Don Jr., the moron, he gets good press, and he's really the dumbest of the lot.
I have always said that since...
No, he's the dumbest of the lot. The family says it, everybody says it. Eric apparently is not that stupid, but he's the one that they paint as stupid, but Don's really the dumb one.
I always said that after he got elected, that was going to be his goal, was to get her in the office. And if you look at how he tried to bring them in and give them positions and do all that kind of stuff, but then, she's kind of backed off with all the controversy controversy and stuff that's been going on. But at the end of the day, that is their plan, is
That's
to
their
get
plan.
Ivanka in office.
We have to make him a blip on history and vote him out.
Yeah.
That's it. Scott Warren.
We got to vote.
So this guy, Scott Warren from Arizona, for years he's been helping provide food and water to immigrants that are coming across the border that would actually have died. They would have died, and he gave them food and he gave them water. They want to put him in jail now. They're going to put him in jail. Did you see that? Where's that article, Jason? Did you print it that I gave you about, I don't know, I thought I gave it to you about one of the people that worked for Trump was standing at the border saying he had 138 immigrants standing there at gunpoint, and he said to the policeman next to him, who's also part of the immigration force, we should just shoot them all right here on the spot. Just shoot them all. He goes, Hitler was right. You need to gas them all. Well, that went public. It was on video. Trump still hasn't condemned it, and he's not going to because he agrees with it.
Because that's his base.
75 former prosecutors signed a letter that Trump would face multiple felony charges for obstruction of justice if he were a private citizen, according to CBS.
I thought it was over 400.
It's 750 now.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said 75. I was like, wait a minute.
It was, maybe I said that, but it was started at 350, then went to 500. Now it's over 750.
Bipartisan, too.
Yeah, bipartisan. Oh, well, I'm going to say the majority of them were Republicans because the majority of prosecutors are Republicans. Yeah. The majority of that's another thing Trump talks about, the 13 angry Democrats. If you took a poll, if you did the test to see the Department of Justice, it's 80% Republican. Obama Boulevard in California. Oh, they made a big Obama Boulevard. Isn't that fabulous? Now people are saying they should make Obama Boulevard right on Fifth Avenue in front of the Trump Tower just to irritate him every damn day. Mar-a-Lago, all that bragging he does. They've been shut down. 5 pools were recently closed. 6 unsatisfactory ratings. Pools are so filthy they've been shut down a total of 10 times. Oh my God, I told you about the glutton Pompeo saying, oh, let that ice melt. We'll go down there and dig for gold. Yeah. Now, I'm worried that just like they set the groundwork for the weapons of mass destruction that did not exist and there were never any. Uh-huh. Well, now all of a sudden they're moving ships around over by Iraq, and I hope they're not planning. You know, Bolton has always wanted to go to war with Iraq, and Trump is such a useful idiot that I'm worried that they're going to do something to stir up a war with Iraq. I'm really worried about it. Oh, God, I can't. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this is what that guy said. He goes, shoot them. We have to go back to the days of Hitler. Put them in the gas chambers. Oh, my God. And then Trump thinks he should get 2 more years in office because of that coup that failed. Would you just stop with that? I can't. Why is Reality Winner getting 63 months for blowing the whistle on the Russian interference, while Maria Butina is only getting 18 months when she was a plant with the NRA, the one that asked the questions about the sanctions, if Trump would get rid of the sanctions if he was elected, and then he says, oh, yes, I think we will. And, of course, she was planted there to ask the questions, to send the message to Russia. And then she gets 18 months, and she was sleeping with the Republicans at the NRA. I mean, talk about, these people are just, I can't. Let's see. Oh, the worst. That guy was just talking about, Fred Guttenberg, this daughter, Jamie, was slaughtered in Parkland. He made some comment about reasonable gun control, and this guy tweeted back to him. Are you ready for this? Fred was too cheap to send his kids to a private school where schools and shootings never happen. He needs to start blaming himself for being such a cheap-ass loser and for trusting the government. And he said, I'm only reposting this because I want you to see what I get from these gun owners on a daily basis. It makes me sick. And Chris Christie's aide got 13 months for Bridgegate, and she says Christie knew. And by the way, Hillary quietly donated almost $2 million to those black churches that burned down. No one even heard a peep about it. It was just an under-the-table donation. 36,000 women come to the U.S. to have babies every year. The majority of them are Russians because they have blonde hair and blue eyes, and they're from Russia. And most of them stay at the Trump properties, according to NBC News. And then now it comes out that Trump promised to pay Kim Jong-un $2 million for Otto Warmburger's hospital care during North Korea. The guy that they sent back walking dead. I guess they didn't ask for proof of life. They just made a deal. I mean, the best negotiator ever, right? I just can't. Now, the Sunday school teacher was sentenced to 16 years in prison for murdering her husband for watching porn. This is the Christian, oh my God, honey, I can't anymore. I can't. Well, I guess we're running out of time. Is there anything else I can't not say? Law enforcement, oh my God, there's so much to be talked about. Read the Mueller report. Read the Mueller report. Oh my God. Oh my God, look, I just go on. There's so much to talk about. All right, so in the meantime, look at this fancy stuff that's just coming in. It's not here yet. This is the packaging. This is our anti-aging face serum, 250 milligram full spectrum hemp CBD. Yay! And I think you can go online starting the 20th and order it. It's probably going to be gone fast, but you know, we're testing it. I don't know how fast it's going to sell, so we didn't order millions of them. We ordered enough. So if you want to put some on reserve, you can go to hello@LeaBlack.com and put it on reserve, and you can use the promo code for our podcast viewers of, is it serum? No, serum.
For this one, when it comes in, it'll be serum.
Serum, S-E-R-U-M. We're very creative over here. So the serum promo code for our podcast listeners. Okay, so we had fun. Oh, I want to bring the little dog over to say goodbye. I don't know, Jason, I don't know. He doesn't like James anymore. He's mad at James. The dog's mad at James. Come here, sweetie. He's mad at James. James put him up on a chair and it scared him. Come here, little boy. Say hi. He's all gussied up and prettied up. Say hi, Auntie Franny. Oh my God, what's wrong with him? He's scared. All right, bye everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.